Your paycheck did not shrink, your money did. The silent thief is not prices going up. It is your purchasing power leaking away every day you do nothing. You feel it at the grocery store when your usual cart somehow costs $30 more. Your rent renewal arrives and jumps by $200 a month, even though your apartment did not add a single window. Gas is higher, streaming slid from 10 to 16, and that same takeout order tips past 40 without dessert. You tell yourself it is inflation, and you are right, but that word does not hand you any control. Here is the part nobody explains. You do not live on dollars. You live on what those dollars can do. That is purchasing power, the real capacity of your money to command food, shelter, time, and choices. When it drops, life feels tighter even if your salary went up on paper. And this is where things get interesting, because the reason your grocery bill stings is simpler and more useful than you think. Imagine you earn $20 an hour. Last year, that hour bought a full cart of ingredients for a pasta night plus a bottle of olive oil that would last. This year, the same cart is missing the olive oil, and you swap the Parmesan for a cheaper brand. Your hour now buys less life. It is not just you. The bakery on the corner pays more for eggs, flour, and electricity. Your landlord's mortgage rate changed. The cafe raised its prices, and tips creep up because customers feel guilty. You experience a chain reaction in daily life, but the hidden driver is one measure: how many real things each dollar can attract in the current market. That is purchasing power, and it is the metric that decides whether you feel wealthy or trapped. But here is the twist. Purchasing power is not just about prices rising. It is a race between prices and your income. And sometimes the finish line moves. Prices climb. Wages try to chase. Taxes nibble. Debts either help or hurt depending on whether their rates are fixed or floating. And the rules of that race change when the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, when your boss adjusts pay once a year, or when your city grows faster than housing can. So if it feels like you are sprinting on a treadmill, you are not imagining it. Let us reveal the mechanism. Purchasing power is simply what one unit of money can buy right now. When the average price of things rises faster than your income, your purchasing power falls. When your pay grows faster than what you buy, it rises. Picture a shopping cart as a measuring cup. If prices go up 10% but your pay only climbs 5%, the cup shrinks. The same dollars fill less space. If prices are flat and your pay increases, the cup expands. You can pour more life into it. Why do prices rise in the first place? Because more dollars chase the same goods, or fewer goods face the same dollars, or both. If farms have droughts, eggs rise. If supply chains jam, smartphones cost more. If demand explodes, say everyone upgrades their kitchen during lockdown, appliance prices jump. Here is what nobody tells you. Your central bank influences the whole dance by adjusting interest rates and the amount of money sloshing around. When money is cheap to borrow, people spend more, companies invest more, and that is good, until the demand for steel, workers, and chips outpaces what exists. Prices catch fire. Then the Federal Reserve raises rates to cool demand, borrowing costs rise, mortgage payments jump, and some prices calm down while your monthly payment does not. Cause, effect, your life. Concrete example. In 2022, the Federal Reserve raised rates quickly. A 30-year fixed mortgage went from roughly 3% to around 7% on a $300,000 home. That can add more than $700 a month to the payment. You did not buy a bigger house. Your dollars just command a smaller slice of the exact same home. Your purchasing power for housing fell, not because your income changed overnight, but because the price of money, the interest rate, moved. Wait, it gets stranger. If you already locked a fixed rate at 3%, inflation can actually help you. You repay with dollars that feel lighter, while your payment stays the same. Your debt's purchasing power falls, not yours. Same world, different outcomes. And this is where people get tricked. You see a 5% raise and feel good. But if your personal basket of life, rent, childcare, groceries, gas, rises 8%, your real wage fell 3%. That is purchasing power erosion. Your money talks less loudly in the stores you actually use. Want a simple rule? Do not compare yourself to the Consumer Price Index headline. Compare your pay to the prices you personally face. Build your own mini index. Track the 5 costs that set your month: rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, transport, and one joy you refuse to cut. If that index rises faster than your pay, you are losing ground even if the news celebrates a lower inflation number. But here is the part that changes everything. You can gain purchasing power without earning more by changing what your dollars have to fight. If you switch from buying lunch out to prepping in bulk, you are not being frugal. You are restoring your money's strength by attacking one of the fastest rising categories. If you negotiate your rent down by asking for a longer lease, you just increased your purchasing power. Your same dollar now buys more months of roof. If you choose a fixed-rate loan when rates are low, inflation later becomes your ally, shrinking the real burden of your payment. That is not magic, that is mechanics. Let us zoom out, then zoom back in. At the system level, productivity matters most. If workers produce more per hour, better tools, smarter software, more efficient logistics, companies can pay more without raising prices as much. When productivity lags, you get a tug-of-war between wages and prices. You feel it as either stagnant pay or higher bills. The bakery on your block illustrates this. Last year, Nora, the owner, raised croissant prices by 15% because flour and labor costs jumped. Customers grumbled, sales dipped, stress rose. This year, she buys an energy-efficient oven and redesigns her workflow. Output per hour rises, waste falls. She holds prices steady while offering a small raise to keep her best baker. Productivity just gave every customer a tiny dose of purchasing power back, without a discount sign. But there is a catch. Some price increases hide in plain sight. It is called shrinkflation. Same price, smaller bag. Your cereal box loses 2 ounces. Your paper towels drop from 100 sheets to 88. On the shelf, your brain sees the same number. In your house, you use it faster. Your purchasing power slides silently because unit prices changed. The counter is simple. Train yourself to read unit price labels, cents per ounce, dollars per 100 count. The moment you switch to the cheaper unit price that still meets your standard, you increase your purchasing power instantly. No waiting for a raise, no spreadsheet needed. You might ask, what about investing? That is the lever most people reach for, and for good reason. Assets with limited supply or productive capacity tend to outrun inflation over time. Broad stock indexes, real estate, even inflation-protected bonds like TIPS. When those assets grow faster than the cost of your life, your future dollars earn back power. But here's the twist most miss. If you carry high-interest credit card debt, your purchasing power leaks like a cracked bucket. A 20% card rate devours your money's strength faster than most investments grow. Pay that down, and you give every future dollar a promotion. Taxes play a quiet role too. If your wage rises enough to bump you into a higher bracket, but the tax brackets do not adjust fully for inflation, part of your raise disappears. That is bracket creep. The fix is not an exotic strategy. Contribute to tax-advantaged accounts where you legally can, especially when your employer matches your contribution. That match is an instant boost to future purchasing power that is hard to beat anywhere else. Currency strength matters when you buy imported goods or travel. If the dollar weakens against other currencies, Imported electronics and vacations abroad cost more in your dollars. Your purchasing power on foreign shelves falls. If the dollar strengthens, the reverse. You do not control exchange rates, but you can time certain purchases. If you are planning a laptop upgrade or an international trip and your currency strengthens, that is a window where your money speaks a little louder globally. Use it. Now let us circle back to you at the store, in your city, with your bills. Here is a small checklist that shifts you from victim to owner. 1. Measure your real wage. Take your hourly pay and divide it by your personal basket cost. Track that number quarterly. If it is falling, decide which lever to pull. Raise income, lower a big expense, or both. 2. Anchor big decisions to hours, not dollars. If the new phone equals 30 hours of your work instead of 20, the price went up in the only unit that matters, your life. 3. Attack recurring costs first. $10 saved monthly on a subscription you never use beats $10 shaved once at the register. Those are permanent increases to your purchasing power. 4. Lock the right things. Fixed rate debt when rates are low. Fixed rate utility plans if pricing spikes. Longer leases for stability in hot markets. 5. Invest in skills that raise your personal productivity. When your hour creates more value, you can demand more pay without waiting for a miracle. That is the ultimate hedge. Wait, it gets better. Sometimes you can manufacture your own inflation discount. Retailers run predictable sales cycles. If you shift to buying durable goods, detergent, paper goods, pantry staples, only during deep promotions, you hack the pricing system. Your neighbors pay rising shelf prices. You buy in bulk on the troughs. Over a year, your purchasing power on those items rises without a single extra dollar earned. What about the fear that holding cash is losing? Cash buys flexibility and safety, but it loses purchasing power during high inflation. The solution is not zero cash. It is purposeful cash. Hold enough to sleep at night and handle surprises. Put the rest to work, where your future self buys more life per dollar than today. That could be low-cost index funds. It could be skills that lift your income. It could be a used car that cuts your monthly rideshare bill by half. The test is simple. Does this move permanently lower your cost per month or permanently raise your earning power? If yes, your purchasing power climbs. Now, the mental shift that unlocks all of this. Do not ask, can I afford it? Ask, will this purchase strengthen or weaken my purchasing power next month and next year? Groceries that prevent takeout 4 nights a week? Strengthen. A brand logo tax that does nothing but drain? Weaken. A course that moves you from $20 an hour to $24? Strengthen dramatically. A variable rate loan in a rising rate world? Likely weaken. Remember Nora at the bakery? She used to dread egg price spikes. Now she tracks her inputs weekly, renegotiates with suppliers each quarter, and adjusted her menu to emphasize items with steadier costs. Her prices stabilized, her best customers returned, her profits rose in real terms. That is purchasing power at the business level. You can mirror it at home. You started this feeling like prices push you around. Now you see the gears. Purchasing power is the real game. Measure it in your life. Defend it where it leaks. Build it where it compounds. When you do, you stop chasing headlines and start making moves that matter. Your paycheck did not shrink. Your money's voice got quieter. Train it to speak louder again. One choice, one bill, 1 hour at a time.